The Charlie Crawford Podcast is proud to partner with NRS. Don't forget to shop this destination for all things Western. NRS has everything you need from boots, hats, apparel, bits and spurs, saddles, ropes, feed, and more. Visit their flagship store in Decatur, Texas, as well as other locations in Granbury, Texas, and Wickenburg, Arizona. From your hat to your boots and everything in between. Shop NRS in-store or online at nrsworld.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's NRS Tip of the Month. Today, we're going to talk about technique versus the mental game. So here lately at some of the clinics that I've been going to, I feel like some of the people have been a little confused on comparing the mental game versus technique errors. And what I mean by that is where I've seen quite a few guys and girls that have come up to the steer and rated off in position, and their breakover point is too late, and their rope is actually headed to the left of their horse. Or I've seen people that have had their tip broke over too low, where the tip of their rope is actually almost headed to the steer's tailbone trying to rope the horns. And then a lot of times they'll come to me and say, look, I just in my head, my mental game is trash. I'm not focused. And when I watch it, it's like, well, I can't be in your head, but all I can tell you is that your technique is off. Your swing is headed in the wrong direction. And so to me, that's where I think sometimes we blame technique errors on a mental game. Or say your riding technique where you're nodding your head and your shoulders are leaking before your left hand and you're breaking the barrier, and they're either blaming it on their horse or their mental game, like I blank out. Well, no, your shoulders is leaving early, like you're leaving early. That's a technique error in your riding. Or if you're pulling your slack and your left hand's going left, and we blame it on the horse. Or, man, I'm just in my head and I can't get the corner right. To me, there's things that need developed. And my opinion is once things are developed properly, so if things are incorrect and your swing is not staying open, I would recommend a clinic. I would recommend a lesson. I would recommend finding somebody that can understand, it's easy to understand, where you can get your technique sharpened up, or some videos. I highly recommend, a lot of the videos out there, or, watching the futurity guys. Their riding technique and their swing is very correct. They ride very correct. Their swing is correct. You watch Caleb Driggers, Clay Smith, some of the best guys in the world, Trevor. You watch those guys get up there in position, and their swing is even over the horns, and you can tell they're going to catch before they throw. Their technique is so correct. So once you get that developed, in my opinion, then that's when you need the reps. That's when you're trying to develop that muscle memory, to get the horns in the middle of your swing, to get the horns in the middle of your loop, to where your left hand is going when you want, where you want, slowing down when you want. So when you rope and get hooked up to the horn, you know where you're headed after you rope, where you're working on both your left hand and your right hand, because they both need each other. Your left hand and feet, that's your horsemanship. Your swing, that's where making sure that if that steer stays in the arena, you got it. And so to me, once you get the correct technique, that's when I feel like you need the reps, because now you have a run that you can trust. If you can go rope 10 steers out of 10 steers in the practice pen, and your steers are very similar to the steers that you're roping at home, and you're having a hard time catching the jackpot, okay, now I feel like your mental game might be in the wrong place. And so that's where I think a guy's got to take capture of what his thoughts are. What is he thinking about? What is he focused on? Because I think once you know where the moving parts of the run are, then to me, when you're back in that box, once you see the start, you're telling yourself what you're going to do. But you have to be able to do that so much at home where you don't have to think through the moving parts of the run. That should just come natural. You ask most of these guys, when they're back up in the BFI for 75,000, most of them are just focused on the start, because once they see their start, muscle memory takes over. Their habits take over. What they practice takes over. That's something they can trust, so they can kind of feel the run and react. So those are just some ways right there, I think, that a guy can keep in mind of what your technique is, develop that technique correctly, get the reps that you need, and then being able to test the mental game. And one of the best as far as learning how to compete, the mental game of that, I think the best book that I've read, give it a try. It's With Winning in Mind by Lanny Basham. Man, it's one of the best competition books I've read. They've also got it to where You can listen to it in an audiobook. So, there's plenty of neck down work that we do out here in the Western industry between cleaning stalls, loping horses, driving. So, man, it's a great one to listen to as you're going down the road. If you get a chance, they also have some seminars in Flower Mound, Texas. Man, I've been to them. Trey Johnson and I've been to them. I've taken the girls to them, man. Really good with just, focusing on what to think before you back in that box. So if mental game is something you feel like you've diagnosed that is where the problem is, then, man, I'd give those a try. If you're looking for, some proper techniques, man, I've got an online course, man, to where it's available where you can watch it on your phone. And to get the swing breakdowns, to get the swing to where you know exactly where it's headed, check out my online course. If you're looking for some clinics, I've got my clinic schedule on charliecrawford.training. Check out the course tab right there on clinics, and then I'll have all my clinic schedules for 2025 down. And for all your equipment needs, man, check out nrsworld.com. Thank you for listening.